Hey everyone, Chris Okiki back with part 2 of comparing Magic Square's Light of Peace with Light of Freedom. Like I said, this is the metallic version of my Light of Freedom, but same figure either way. Or same exact figure as the original one, just again with the metallic paint job. But yeah, and obviously you can see in robot mode they are both different. Obviously, I mean, again though, this has a metallic paint job, this one doesn't. But there are some differences, like for example, there's some translucent plastic in the little waist area. And the backs are different too. From what I've heard, this is actually more animation accurate than this. You see, it has this little backpack thing, while this one looks a bit more smoother, but I could be wrong. The same posable windshield wipers are there, while this one, I will say that in order for these to be, that you have to actually turn these windows around when you're transforming them, when you're transforming Light of Peace. But yeah, legs are different, smokestacks are different. For these smokestacks, they move down. They're on like that in vehicle mode, while they're up like that in robot mode, so they are out of the way when you rotate the bicep. While for this, the way these smokestacks are, they're up like that, but you push them down. Now, I will say, like I said, I didn't show off the transformation for these guys from vehicle to robot mode, but I will talk about like some differences. Actually, I think I said I wasn't going to show off any differences with the transformation. What I meant to say is I'm not going to show how their transformations are different, like by actually transforming them on screen, because it does take a while. But again though, the transformations are obviously different. So yeah, I already explained the smokestacks, how the chests are like for this. Again, you have to rotate the windows and then so you can fold them in. The again, the transformation for the backpack for the back of the figure is different. And these, like I showed in the video, these rotate to move out of the way, while these don't. And this little butt flap back here can rotate for vehicle mode, and it can rotate up for robot mode, while this one doesn't. But yeah, that's let me just adjust this. Actually, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cover the screen. About right there. There we go. But yeah, transformations for both these figures are obviously different. Like I said, I wasn't going to transform them on camera, but I was just going to talk about how different they are. And if you remember my video of Light of Peace, I have his arms rotated like this. So because this lower elbow already bends more than 90. I mean, this guy, I would do the same thing, but this upper joint is actually tighter than the lower joint. And he can still bend his elbow more than 90. So that's still not bad articulation one bit. Just want to make sure these are straight. But yeah, and you know what? While we're at it, I already showed off the elbow, so let's go over the rest of the articulation. On Light of Freedom, he has a hinge that can move up and down, and a swivel at the neck. So, you know, there's no ball peg on it. It's just a hinge and a swivel. While in Light of Peace, there is a ball peg, so you can actually move it around, have more range, and he actually has better range up as well. So yeah, in fact, I think it's on a double ball peg. I think. I could be wrong though, but yeah. Head articulation is better than on Light of Peace. And also, arm articulation for Light of Peace, there's a joint in the shoulder that allows him to move outward that far. Of course, there's an extra joint that you can use to move the arm further outward too, a lot more up. Oops, straighten that out, which is cool. And if you extend it, you know, butterfly joint, it's pretty much, I already showed this in my video review of this guy, though I didn't show it on this guy. So I already explained how you have to extend this out before move the arm outward, which is not completely T-pose, but it's not bad. And of course, still rotates, but like I said, I didn't show this in the review, but he also has a proper butterfly joint that helps. But I forgot to show it in the video, so I used a pinned comment. But now, again, he has a butterfly joint like this on the figure. And the elbows are pretty much the same. You know, same 90-degree, more than 90-degree bend on both of them. And for the wrists, they still swivel. I mean, the wrists still swivel on both of them. I did not like that sound. Oh, wait. It's because of this. Never mind. Okay, let me just... Okay, like I said, there's a swivel in both hands. So for Light of Peace, you know, he still has the ball peg at the thumb and the hinge as well. If you can see that. All his fingers are just normal hinges, like a hinge. You see that? The fingers, they're just on normal main hinge for the main knuckle, and you know, a second joint for the second knuckle. So yeah, still individual finger articulation, but kind of limited in terms of what you can do, but it's still not bad. Well, for Light of Peace, he has more range, has more posability. Like, he has a wrist hinge that can move backwards that far. He still has the thumb articulation. The fingers still similar, but they are on the main knuckles are on a ball peg, so you can actually spread his hands. Again, like I showed in my video review of the Light of this guy. I mean, also same, you know, same waist swivel on both of these. You know, waist swivel is there on both of these figures. I'm almost knocking stuff out. I'm almost knocking stuff over. I mean, I'm having trouble talking today. Of course, with the transformation door, you could give them an ab crunch, but I already showed that in my video review of these guys. Now, bring these down, move them out of the way for a bit. Now, of course, I'm just gonna extend this for a bit. Light of Freedom had these hip kilt pieces that can move out of the way, and you can see these side pieces also has these little flaps on the rear, so you can move them outward as well. And there's this little piece here that you can move out as well, so move out of the way too. So, and yeah, you can see beautiful spread still, but moving them forward, yeah, it's not really, I mean, it's not bad, but obviously it's not much range due to how the kilt pieces are. As I'm gonna use the word kilt. I'm not gonna say skirt because it's been used a lot. But yeah, you can see there, these kind of get in the way. I mean, again, you can move them out of the way for range, but again, it's just for more dynamic poses, he's kind of limited. But again, with Light of Peace here, I mean, these butt flaps and side flaps move out of the way. But the way this works is, it's like MP44, which I don't have, but again, like I showed in my review, this guy has a whole lot more range moving his legs forward. Like, just look at that. Look at that, and I'll just sink him down for a bit. And I'm just gonna compare the hip movement with the Light of Freedom too. It's just night and day. You know, this guy can't kick his leg up that far. But, you know, it wasn't bad when this guy first came out. Even though I was late to the party, and I didn't actually know about these guys until later on. When I saw other people review them, I figured I had to get them. Of course, Light of Freedom I got first, obviously. And, of course, if you heard, the ratchets on the hips are actually a bit tighter when you move them outward. Well, this guy, the ratchets aren't bad. I mean, this ratchet here on this leg is still good. I mean, it holds a pose, it's nice and tight. While this one just... I really don't understand why it's like this. Like, the ratchet's not really... I don't know if it's damaged or not, but... I mean, it'll still hold a pose, but... yeah. It's... I don't get that. I don't know why it's like that, but, you know, it doesn't really affect his posing at all. It's just, though, a bit annoying. Like, having loose joints on your fingers is just annoying. But, yeah, it's just... Again, though, if it would have made the ratchets a little bit stronger on the hips when you move them out, then it would have been great. But this guy, you know, his ratchet joints, at least when you move them outward... I'm going to extend this again. You know, you see, nice and tight. But yeah, like I said, it's just, I mean, they both have a beautiful spread, but this guy can actually move his legs all the way up, forward or back, other than, well, this guy can't really do that. I mean, he can move his legs forward and back, but they're still a bit hindered. Another thing is his ankle pivot. This guy's ankle pivot is actually really great. It is just insane. Like, the amount of range that you get with the pivot is just crazy. This guy, I mean, again, okay, you know what? I was wrong. It's about the same range. But, you know, moving it forward and back is actually a bit easier. It's a more smoother joint, and the toe hinge actually works out better too. And I just almost pulled something out. So yeah, this is one thing that Light of Peace has, that Light of Freedom, or Light of Freedom has, I mean, the Light of Peace. I mean, the ankle pivot's there and all that, but moving it forward and back, you have to bend the foot and heel in order to work that ratchet joint. And even then, like, you literally have to move the toe kind of like that or something. So yeah, that's one thing that Light of Freedom does better than Light of Peace. Of course, I know there are going to be people who are going to bring up some things that Light of Peace does better, or what Light of Freedom does better, but this is just my take. But yeah, all in all, though, I mean, posability, whatnot, Light of Peace actually takes the cake. Light of Freedom is not bad, but Light of Peace is just overall better. And might as well show off how their weapons work. Start with Light of Peace. Just gonna open up the fingers, move the thumb out of the way. Again, there's a peg on the gun, two pegs on the gun. There's a hole in each hand. And pegs in like so. Wrap the fingers around. I like to take the thumb and kind of rotate it a bit like that. So yeah, not a bad grip on this guy, not at all. Now, like I showed in the video, which I will show again now, the way the axe works is just unplug this. Though I will say be warned about this, because sometimes this isn't pushing all the way, but just this thing is not fully pushed in. I should say. I'm trying to explain it well without, you know, without stuttering and whatnot. I'm sorry. I've said in a previous video I'm not scripted, but anyway, like this axe here, like if it's like almost popping out, just kind of wiggle it a little bit until it fully goes into the slot. If you can see that, so fully it's flush with the rest of it so it doesn't fall out. And how this works, put it on his left hand, just move the thumb out of the way, take the axe, and just slide it in like so. And then you can just, close this up. Like that. That's how it works, which, I mean, it works out well, but I kind of like how Light of Peace does it. I'm gonna keep messing up their names, aren't I? I like how Light of Freedom has his axe. Like, now the gun, again, same deal. Just move the fingers out of the way. Again, he has 2 pegs on it and a hole in each hand, so just plug it in like so. Oops. Yeah. Plug it into his hand like so, and since the peg hole is a bit bigger, you can slide the gun up or down to adjust it. Close the fingers and wrap the thumb around like that, and he still holds his gun well. So yeah, not bad. Now for the axe, the way he holds his axe, I mean, you kind of wiggle this to open it up. I apologize if things aren't really shown on the screen completely, if things are moving off the screen, but as you just slide like that, and just, if you can, actually, no, never mind, it mostly works on the right hand. Let me just take the gun out. And I'll just put it in his left hand instead. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. And I'm just gonna, wait a minute, what the? I just realized there's a little stress mark there. Why is that there? I don't get it. All right, just, I guess this, yeah, the axe mostly works with the right hand. Yeah, just wrap his fingers around it like so. Then you can take this and just slide it over his fist. And it's not even on screen. Okay, I'm gonna move this guy out of the way first. Ow, hit my knee. Okay, let's try this again. Just find the right, and there we go. That's how he looks with the axe. Though it's a shame, I mean, I'm sure you could put it on his left hand, but it's more designed to be held in his right, at least the way I see it. But yeah. And that's how they are with their weapons. No. Though with the amount of articulation Light of Peace has, he's more dynamic with his weaponry. I mean, Light of Freedom still can pull off some good poses with his own weaponry, but with the way the hips are, moving them forward and back, how they're limited, and how the head is also a bit limited, only able to move up and down on a hinge and then swivel. It's not on a ball peg, but still not bad. Just Magic Square outdid themselves with this guy. But the one thing they did do with this guy here, which I'm actually going to show with this guy out of the way again, which, like I said in the video though, these trailer hitches for Light of Peace aren't really compatible with him in robot mode at all, only in vehicle mode. Plus there's no storage, unfortunately. But anyway, I'm just going to take these parts again. Now, I'm not going to actually show off, all of them. There is one piece I'm not going to show. I'm just going to dump all this out. As I showed, this guy actually comes with alternate battle damage pieces. which I'm just gonna use the, oh, I just realized, okay, before I do swap the pieces out, I'm just gonna show off the matrix, which this actually, this matrix here, Light of Freedom's matrix, is actually easier to remove than Light of Peace, and it's die-cast metal, so that's awesome. On Light of Peace, however, just go open it up, and the Light of Peace does have this extra flap. See, there's the matrix in there, but it's kind of a challenge to get out. Do you know how deep it is inside? I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it off screen because the last thing it needs for this thing to be, or something to break on this guy. Let's see if I can just. Come on, you. Okay, the matrix in on Light of Peace is actually a bit more challenging to remove than in Light of Freedom, and I apologize in advance for you to look at this guy, but you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna get a tool to help me out. If you hear that, that's me grabbing something. Just gonna use this bit here. It's like a nail filer or something. Because, again, the matrix is a bit challenging to remove without like something thin, or like even a part separator or something. Okay, almost. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. It's out. Just gonna... But yeah, this is one thing that Light of Freedom actually does better. I mean, not only is this matrix a lot bigger than Light of Peace's one, but like I said, it has a better paint job and die-cast metal. Well, this, it's not even like bronze or orange in the center, and it's plastic. It's not, like, if you could hear that, this thing is plastic, while this one is metal. So this is one thing Light of Freedom has better. I keep calling this guy Light of Peace. This guy is Light of Peace. But anyway, just Light of Freedom has the better matrix than Light of Peace. I'm just gonna put this back in like so. Close it up. And same thing with this guy. But Light of Freedom has this flap here, I mean, like how it was in the movie. But anyway, you know what? I'm just gonna swap the parts off screen as well, because if I try doing it on screen, it's gonna be challenging. And also trying to find the right window for the right part for the right window. It can be a challenge too. All right. So again, I apologize if I take the figure off screen. So for now, there's Light of Peace, so you could take a look at him while I figure this out. All right, come on. Seriously? It's just trying to find the right position to plug these in. That's the challenging part. There we go. the other one. And if you hear that squeaking, that's my chair. Alright, and now these other pieces, these two right here are going to be a pain, so again, I'm going to do them off screen. I'm sorry. It's just trying to do it on screen is a bit challenging, like I said before. Okay. Move him out of the way. But yeah, there he is. Light of Freedom with the battle damaged pieces for the windshield and these sides here. So if you want to have them like that, that's one thing that this guy has that Light of Peace doesn't. And if you watch Jobby's review, you'll know that these side bits here, they also come out. But I'm just trying to fix, let me just try fixing this first. But I don't know if there's an extra accessory kit for this guy to where you can swap with the pieces. But of course, like I said, Light of Freedom has this type of headpiece here. The one that's on him is, you know, this looks more like a helmet, while this one has, or not really helmet, but look like this has this brim at the front, while this one is more flat, which I actually like a lot better. But yeah, so in terms of accessories, Light of Freedom actually has more, not just with the gun and axe, but also with the extra pieces he can swap out with. Light of Freedom, he has only his axe, gun, and his trailer hitches for MP44, MP10's trailer. But yeah, either way, it's still awesome. These figures, they're still great. I mean, Light of Freedom is still great in its own right, but Light of Peace is just, Magic Square just outdid themselves with Light of Peace. I mean, the articulation, the transformation, the playability on this, and mostly the articulation on this guy is just a huge step up from Light of Freedom. I mean, again, Light of Freedom, at least the metallic version, is still a fantastic figure, but this guy just wins, you know, I mean, this guy wins in like paint job with the metallic stuff and the accessories with the battle damaged alternate pieces, as well as the alternate head plates. And, well, and with how the axe is as well. I kind of like how this axe goes on more than on this one, though the axe on Light of Peace is a lot bigger than the one on Light of Freedom. So yeah, this actually looks like an axe. This, to me, looks more like a hatchet. But either way, still amazing, still great figures. But if I had to choose, if you had to pick which one, I'd say pick Light of Peace. Again, Light of Freedom is still an amazing figure on its own, but Light of Peace is just a huge step up from Light of Freedom. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This video's already going on for almost 30 minutes, but yeah. If I have to recommend one of these figures, I'd recommend Light of Peace. Again, Light of Freedom is still great, but Light of Peace is just a huge step up. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this comparison video. Hope you enjoyed this comparison parts, and I'll see you all next time.